Welcome to the Deep Dive by Global Heroes, your go-to for the real stories behind real heroes. Get more inspiring content in your inbox with our newsletter, and be sure to follow along on social media.
Okay, so for this deep dive, we're looking at sources that detail a really critical support system here in Ontario for survivors of gender-based violence.
Right, specifically the infrastructure behind the Assaulted Women's Helpline, or AWHL.
And the numbers here are, they're just staggering. The organization is marking 40 years of service. It opened in 1985.
And since then, they've responded to more than 836,000 contacts.
That figure alone, I mean, it's not just a number. It speaks to the sheer courage of every person who reached out.
And it also speaks to the demand. That's why their foundation is so important. Confidential, 247 crisis support across the province.
Well, 24/7.
And this is key, it's available over 200 languages. So for anyone listening, this network is accessible. It's trauma-informed and ready to help right now.
Okay, let's unpack that for a second. What does 24/7 trauma-informed support actually look like on the ground?
Well, it's not just a single phone line anymore. That's the crucial thing to understand.
Right.
They've had to adapt over 40 years. So yes, there's the phone line, but there's also secure online chat and text options.
And that text number is #SSAFE, so 7233.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting, in their personalized safety planning.
This goes beyond just immediate crisis response.
Way beyond. The planning they do covers the survivor, their kids, and even their pets.
The pets part is so important. I mean, that's often a reason people feel they can't leave.
It's a huge barrier. And they also integrate technology safety measures, to deal with modern issues like digital stalking or monitoring.
So they're connecting people in real time to shelters, to legal support, counseling, even TTY services for deaf and hard of hearing callers. That level of coordination it's immense.
It is. And that intense focus on specific needs is exactly what led them to create a specialized service.
Which brings us to the senior safety line.
Yes, the SSL. It's an extension of the AWHL mission, but with its own very targeted focus.
Because the dynamics of elder abuse can be so different.
Totally different. You often have a situation where a person is dependent on their abuser for care or for financial support. That makes it incredibly difficult to speak out.
So the SSL provides that round-the-clock support, but it's tailored for older adults and their caregivers who might be facing abuse or neglect or even financial exploitation.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the SSL does more than just intervene.
Right.
A huge part of its function is to actively reduce the stigma, to sort of reframe the conversation.
Oh, so?
By encouraging open community dialogue and framing the act of seeking help as a sign of strength, not vulnerability. It helps build up those community support networks that might otherwise just, look the other way.
So when you put it all together, what does this all mean? What's the vision here?
I think this shared vision for both AWHL and the SSL is really about building a safer Ontario through collective action.
It's not just on one organization. It's family, neighbors, volunteers.
Exactly. And their executive director, Hong Fem, said something that really stuck with me, that despite how much the landscape of violence has changed in 4 decades, the power of a single, compassionate, and informed responder on the other end of the line, that remains constant.
That's a powerful thought.
So for you, the listener, just consider for a moment the sheer infrastructure required to keep something like this running. Confidential, multilingual, 247 crisis support for 40 years.
And understanding that these specialized resources, like the SSL, actually exist for specific vulnerable groups in our communities, that's vital.
It's essential knowledge. And just to be clear, if you or someone you know needs help, the toll-free number is 1-866-863-0511. And of course, if you're ever in immediate danger, please call 911. That's it for today's deep dive. Want more? Stay connected with Global Heroes through our newsletter and socials.